Okay, guys, we are back at it, and we have Mark Levin. Mark Levin, by the way, guys, is an overweight Fox News anchor, and no kidding, this is not a joke. For the past 2 weeks, has been begging Donald Trump to go to war with Iran. Right, every single night on air, he gets on air and begs Donald Trump to strike Iran. Okay, never talking about the fact that striking Iran is going to tank the economy. They're going to go, there's 30,000 U.S. troops at risk from an Iranian ballistic missile attack. We have billions of dollars of assets in the Middle East. We're probably going to have to get fully involved, troops on the ground in Iran to do anything. Political analysts, geopolitical analysts, military analysts have said no possible way of getting rid of the Iranian nuclear program. You can slow it down. No possible way of getting rid of it. It's buried hundreds of meters deep underground. Furthermore, it's going to distract us from a bigger threat, which is China. Putin's going to be happy, and now the U.S. is completely distracted in the Middle East. China's Xi Jinping's going to be like, oh, wow, look at this, man. The U.S. is in the Middle East now. They're using all the resources there. Let's go ahead and scoop up Taiwan. Putin's going to keep doing what he does. Biggest fucking disaster you can possibly think of, right? Never wants to talk about those factors. But he's saying, oh, we're on our 11th hour. Iran's going to get a nuke. He acts like they're going to launch that shit at us, right? Anyways, so he gets on tonight and says something like he makes the dumbest comment I've ever heard. He says that Trump should do to Iran what George Bush did to Iraq with the weapons of mass destruction, which didn't even exist. Right? Let's play the clip, guys. Again, we have to expose these fucking assholes.
With you. Now, let's set the table right here. The Biden regime funded Iran, funded their nuclear program, appeased Iran, took all of the Trump restrictions off Iran. So Donald Trump is handed a horrible situation here. We're at the 11th hour, thanks to the Democrats, thanks to Biden. And that's why Trump is 1,000 times better than they'll ever be on Iran. And I want to say, I support the president's statements 100%. 100%, I always have. And so do 52 out of 53 Republican senators and 80% of the Republicans in the House of Representatives, including the vast majority of the largest conservative group there, the Study Committee. And in the Senate letter that was sent to the president, I think it was on Wednesday, we write to express our strong support for your efforts to secure a deal with Iran that dismantles its nuclear program and to reinforce the explicit warnings that you and officials in your administration have issued that the regime must permanently give up any capacity for enrichment. This is every single Senate Republican, except for Rand Paul, who's kind of out there, sort of the Soros Koch stuff. During your first term, you withdrew the United States from the deeply broken Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the Obama Plan, and imposed maximum pressure on the regime. As you said then, a fatal flaw of the deal was that it, quote, allowed Iran to continue enriching uranium and over time reach the brink of a nuclear breakout. The letter goes on. The scope and breadth of Iran's nuclear build-out have made it impossible to verify any new deal that allows Iran to continue enriching uranium. That's the deal. Those spinning centrifuges, that's what the Senate Republicans are talking about. That's what Donald Trump was talking about. They cannot continue to spin, because to go from spinning centrifuges that may not necessarily be used for nuclear arms to spinning centrifuges for uranium for nuclear arms is like that. We had General Keane on the program a couple of weeks ago. He said it takes 2 weeks. Every expert I've brought on here said, no. If they're of the mind to get a nuclear weapon, they'll get a nuclear weapon. No spinning centrifuges. The United States has to go in there, remove them, and destroy them, as we did with Libya. That was the Libya plan that Bush put in place. If Bush can do the Libya plan, I believe Donald Trump could do the Libya plan in Iran. Bush got it done. Trump can get it done too. And it goes on. In its most recent report published on February 26th of this year, the International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed that because of Iran's activities over the last 4 years, quote, the agency has lost continuity of knowledge in relation to the production and current inventory of centrifuges, rotors, and bellows, heavy water, and UOC, which it will not be possible to restore. You and your administration said 52 out of 53 Republicans in the Senate have therefore correctly drawn a red line against any deal that allows Iran to retain any enrichment capability. So I agree with the president. I agree with the president on Iran. Your National Security Presidential Memorandum on Iran stated that, quote, Iran's nuclear program, including its enrichment and reprocessing related to capabilities and nuclear-capable missiles, poses an existential danger to the United States and the entire civilized world, quote unquote. Notice Netanyahu's not in there, Israel's not in there, the Jews and the neocons are not in there. This is a threat to the United States of America. And you recently said that the only, quote, full dismantlement of those capabilities would be acceptable. Special Presidential Envoy Steve Witkoff has made it clear in that context of negotiation that for any final arrangement to work, quote, Iran must stop and eliminate its nuclear enrichment and weaponization program. The president has my 100% support. He's got 100% support from 52 out of 53 Republican senators. He's got 80% or more of the Republican House members. And he's got you, the American people, who do not want Iran to get a nuclear weapon and do not support a deal that will allow them to get a nuclear weapon. Period.
And
you're not pacifist.
Fucking war in the Middle East. Okay, that too, sir. The majority of the American people don't want a war in the Middle East. It's going to cost American lives and American money. Asswipe. So, what he was referencing, guys, initially I thought it was about Iraq, but yeah, he spoke about how Bush brokered a deal with Gaddafi to destroy his nuclear enrichment program, and guess what happened there, right? So Gaddafi agreed to it. They came in, destroyed the nuclear enrichment program. They destroyed his chemical weapons facilities and all that. And then literally a year later, he was overthrown under the Obama administration. So, I mean, listen, guys, Iran's not going to give up the nuclear weapons. And not only that, they're using that nuclear weapons shit as a pretext to invade Iran and try to weaken it, because Iran's a very strong country militarily. The nuclear weapons is not going to change anything. They could destroy Israel right now with the weapons that they have, and they can do a lot of damage. They don't need a nuclear bomb, right? And even if you have a nuclear bomb, you can't use that shit, right? So you can't. If you use a nuclear weapon, that's like, I mean, that's a red line internationally. I mean, it's not something that people just generally resort to unless it's like some people say they might use it in a situation where it's like an existential situation, right? Like the Israelis have the Samson option, meaning like if there's an existential threat to the existence of Israel, they will utilize nuclear weapons to try and I don't know what they're going to do to cause mass casualties, right? So all this nuclear talk bullshit, it's all bullshit, because the reality of it is Pakistan has them, India has them, China has them, Israel has them, and they haven't declared anything nor signed a non-proliferation treaty. They're allowed to have them. If Iran has them, it's not really going to shift the power play, it's not going to change anything. Really, you're going to have a nuclear holocaust where the entire world is going to feel the effects of that shit. Right? We almost had one with India and Pakistan. Okay? So it's not like the nuclear bomb is not something that you just play around with, like, oh, I want it today, but I don't want it the next day. That's not how shit works with that, right? They're using this as a pretext to go in there, eliminate the IRGC, neutralize Iran, And there's no way of doing that again unless you're risking thousands of lives, U.S. troops. Definitely the U.S. is going to have to be involved. Other countries might be involved. Thousands of lives, millions, billions of dollars. Economy is going to get wrecked. And that's what this asshole is advocating for, right? And so, and by the way, Mark Levin, and if you do your research, he's actually, which nothing wrong with it, shout out to him, but he's actually a Jewish by ethnic origin, so he might have a softer spot for Israel and his Jewish heritage, right? That other Americans might not necessarily feel with or relate to. So in that case, he's advocating for Israel first policies, that he wants Trump to engage in, right? Because really the only group of people that benefits from Iran not having a nuclear attack is Israel, because they can monopolize having nuclear weapons in the Middle East, which is that's essentially what the main goal is. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, man. Like, comment, and subscribe.